people.
John, don't you need to put a little bit of a color, some blue or something, kind of go a little funky?
Yes, a little
Try
fun.
that one.
Like, I'm gonna like channel my inner Gerald Rogers Lorelai.
Right.
So Vivian, we got some incredible people here today. What's happening?
Oh my goodness, we have John Angelo in the house, in from New York City. A licensed mortgage loan originator at Homebridge Financial Services. He operates in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. John Angelo is the go-to guy to help you land that dream house. And he's a seasoned pro with over 25 years in the mortgage industry. Plus, he's a native from New Jersey. So I was wrong about that. Never mind, New Jersey. For 2021, he aims to specialize in pain or helping his clients alleviate pain. His gift is finding solutions to unique client needs, especially transactions dealing with mortgages, divorce, renovation loans, and boomerang buyers with short sale or foreclosure history. Because in the end, he just wants everyone to feel like a winner. So welcome, John, winner.
John, what's up, man? Thanks for being here today.
Unmute yourself, dear. You need to unmute, John.
John is stuck and frozen.
No, I'm good.
Hey, John, how are you?
Good. How are you today?
Awesome. And what is your fun fact for today, John, as mortgage rates? Like, how low are mortgage rates right now, by the way?
They're so low that Crazy Eddie is scared of the pricing.
And John, are you hearing what's going on with like Reddit and like the disruption to like Wall Street and it's like integrity, like everything that's going on there, or no?
There's a lot of stuff going on right now. A lot of crashing of markets and things like that. But the interest rates are staying very low because the Fed hasn't really changed over anything yet. They're still in their process of being, identified and figuring out what they're going to do. That's why.
Yeah, awesome. So John, how about your fun fact, man?
How did I what? My fun fact?
Yes.
Got twins, boy and a girl. And here's my fun fact. When they were little, really small, we used to take them to the mall. We would take them to the mall. And what would happen is that we would bring them there. One would be dressed in pink, one would be dressed in blue. And these people would come up and say, "Oh, are they identical?" And it would freak me out. I would be like, how can you even, like, to myself, how can you even ask that question? One boy, one girl. Oh yeah, I know identical boy, girl. I'm like, you do? So that's my fun fact.
We're loving John already. John, you're in the right place. So thank you, brother, for being here. Vivian, from the snow in New Jersey to your snow in New York, who else we got?
I have a question.
Oh, yes.
He's an active third-degree Knights of Columbus member. What is that?
Knights of Columbus is a Roman Catholic organization as part of the church, and third degree means I moved up on the levels for the different degrees. I'm up there. One more degree is a fourth degree is the highest you can be. I'll be getting that next year. I was going to get it last year, but we had other things that occurred.
Well, COVID. Congratulations! That's exciting.
Yeah, thanks. It's about Catholic. It's about Catholic men that are part of the church, and they all get together. And what we do are very special things like charities and things like that have to do with the community. A lot of good stuff.
Well, awesome. Knights of Columbus had sponsored one of our Little League teams. So KFC had green uniforms. They're one of our 6 Little League teams growing up in Richfield Park, New Jersey. So KFC is in the house. Vivian, who else we got?
We got John Mitchell, a native from LA.
We got 2 Johns?
Yes, we do.
From opposite coasts? Amazing.
That's exactly what's happening. And he's wearing a bow tie.
It's looking very dapper.
Which we love. Yes, that's because he's the lawsuit.
So wait. So Vivian, you're from like the East Coast. Lorelai's from the West Coast. Like John, like one is from the East Coast. John, we got like East Coast, West Coast, sort of like rap wars going on here. Lorelai, are you rooting for this John because he's from the West Coast? Tell the truth, Lorelai.
It's kind of like the Bloods and the Crips, possibly.
Yes, like teardrop, lightning bolt teardrops are happening today. That's what's happening today. So Vivian, what do we got coming from the left coast?
We got the lawsuit closer coming in from the West Coast. John's superpower is turning conflict into happy endings when it comes to complex issues like transactions, commercial debt, or divorce. His method is a mix of creativity, sensitivity, empathy to the transformative approach to win negotiation settlements in state and federal cases. And he lives by his own 10 mediator commandments coming to you straight out of Compton. Talk about Crips, baby. You were right.
Ooh.
I told you.
A must read for his students in the mediation clinic at the USC Gold School of Law, where he is also a member of the board of directors for MC3 Mediator Certification, the gold standard. So it's no surprise that John Mitchell is hailed as one of LA County's best court mediators for federal and state cases, said in a New York accent. Welcome, John Mitchell.
John, thank you for being here, man. How are you?
Very well, thank you. I'm very pleased to be here with everyone.
Yeah, appreciate that. And how about a fun fact, John?
My fun fact is, and this is sort of like self-serving fun fact, but I was a vegan and I couldn't live without cheese. And, you know, I need a little protein. So I'm into fish as well. So I'm what you call a lacto-ovo-pescatarian, which means I eat dairy, eggs, and fish. but
Only in
nothing-
LA.
Yes. Why does this feel like this has to be coming from the left coast, John? That is amazing. So thank you for that, and appreciate your extraordinary work in the world, settling conflict. John, may I share a quick fun fact that might be sort of like generally relevant to your world?
A fun fact is, relative to my world, is that most lawsuits, probably in the realm of 90%, settle before they get to judgment.
Absolutely.
So you know, the issue is, well, how do we make that even higher? How do we make that 100%? The fun fact is, you know, it happens by settlement most of the time.
Yeah. So can I give a fun fact that I think may be a very uniquely interesting story for you about, because I'm wondering if you've ever heard of this statistically improbable fun fact. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So I had back-to-back trials in which there was a $0 offer going into trial, $0 offer going into trial. And in both cases, we received 8 figures of compensatory and 8 figures of punitive damages in 2 different cases with 2 different sets of people with $0 offers. Now, John, is that a unique fun fact?
I love that fun fact. And so let me ask you, Sean,
Yes.
with that case, with those cases, now I think I've heard before that one of those judgments was in the neighborhood of $27 million. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So my question is would that case have settled for somewhere in the neighborhood of about $3 million?
Yes, sir. If they had you in the room. Yes, sir.
Well, you know, so it happens about 25% of the time where defendants make a decision error about whether or not to settle. And it's usually 10 times more costly when they don't. So, you know, I like to point that out to everybody that
Absolutely.
lawsuit litigation, there's a risk, and that is the risk of losing. And so can we mitigate that risk by coming to a mutually settlement agreement where, you know, it's reasonable and everybody can live with it? That's the kind of thing we look for.
$3 million we would have taken. They spent 8 figures in defending and litigation fees, and they got hit for $27 million on top of it. So call John. You got a lawsuit? Call John. That's the story. So thank you, man.
No, I'm calling you, Sean. I'm a bank on the 28 mil.
Well, John's gonna prevent all that mayhem from happening. So John, thank you for being here.
It's a real pleasure.
Thank you. Vivian.
Woo! We have some judges in the house. We have Mark Yamaglia. Did I get that right? Mr. Yamaglia?
You're called Yampaglia.
Mark Yampaglia is in the building. Mark Yampaglia is in the building. What's
John,
up?
how are you?
How you doing, brother? Who we got here, Vivian?
Oh my God. Following in his father's footsteps, Mark became an attorney. As a personal injury attorney for nearly 20 years, Mark is passionate to take on insurance disputes between auto and medical companies for unfairly denying rightful legal claims. He obtained both his BA and master's from Dickinson University and his juries from Jacob D. Foxburg Law Center. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right. Mark then became a public defender, opened his firm, Mark Yampaglia Law, and served as councilman in North Arlington for over a decade. Of the many honors, Mike is a member of the Heritage Registry of Who's Who and served as general counsel to Elmwood Park chapter of Unico. So welcome, Mike Yampaglia.
Thank
Mark.
you.
Mark, how are you?
All right, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. Mark, Vivian, and all was in the original program back in 2005, like a precursor to Unblinded. Is that not right, Mark?
That's right. You just stole my fun fact, Sean. That was going to be my fun
I killed you. So what is your fun? I didn't say it. So what is your fun fact, Mark?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say that I'm one of the original Sean Callagy disciples from when you had the coaching program when you're on Kinderkamak Road.
Back in the
And-
day. Yeah.
Yeah, and no, I was going to say basically the law I practice today basically is Sean taught me from A to Z how to do everything. So before I met Sean, I was doing municipal court, sending out thousands and thousands of letters representing people on traffic tickets until I met Sean, and Sean told me there's a better way. And that's when Sean more or less took me under his wing and showed me the ropes and how to do the medical collections claims. And I'm still doing it 17 years later. And thank you, Sean.
Brother, I had no idea you're going to be here today. This is so fun. Like nostalgia's in the building, and I really appreciate it. Mark is one of the kindest, sweetest hearted humans you'll ever encounter in your life. So Mark, it's a pleasure to have you here today, man.
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Vivian, what a fun day. Who else you got?
It's so lovely, the effect that you have on people and the people whose lives you touch, Sean. You're really something. And this is a testament to it. Today, it's wonderful. We have Pam Tucker in from Raleigh, North Carolina.
North Carolina Tar Heels are in the building.
They are.
An entrepreneurial heart for over 25 years, Pamela went from product development to international manufacturing and distribution for MGM Studio, Universal Studios, and London V&A Museum, working in Germany, UK, and Asia. And then she went on to work for a marketing company and develop programs for patrons like in top resorts like MGM Grand and Mandalay. I don't know if I said that already. No, I didn't. The Venetian, Aria, Bellagio. And she became passionate in properties and turned to real estate, working with Keller Williams up until last year when she decided independence and wealth building was her superpower and opened up her own realty, Pamela Tucker Realty, in Raleigh, North Carolina. So welcome, Pamela.
Thank you for having me.
Pamela, thank you so much for being here. What an extraordinary journey. So from like the massive big corporate world to, you know, more localized professional services, businesses, like what's your preference, and just share a little bit about that journey and how that transition has been.
I was really fortunate as a young person to have great mentors who said, don't follow in my footsteps. I'm going to show you all the things I did wrong and show you how to do the right things. So I got to travel all over the world. I got to work in mainland China. I got to work all through the UK and Germany, lots of other countries, and learn so much. And every time I was there, these mentors of mine would say, take all the time you want, invite friends, travel the country, because one day you're going to have a family. You're not going to be able to do these things. So I was really fortunate to be able to do a lot of those things early on. And I didn't know any better than to say yes to every opportunity that came my way. And along that journey, met some really wonderful people. But eventually, I just really found this passion for helping people get to where they want to go. So for me to be able to work at a really personal level with clients, help them build wealth through real estate, whether that's their primary residence or, you know, investment properties, I get very involved with them and helping them on their journey. So I feel very grateful, very blessed.
Oh, amazing. It's a blessing to have you here today, Pamela. And how about your fun fact?
Okay, fun fact. I'll give you a funny one.
Yes.
Do you remember Chubby Checker?
Yes. He was Vivian's dear friend.
I once did a commercial with him in some really bad 50s outfits. It was done for Nabisco. Yes, it was very bad.
Amazing. Do you still have a video?
No, I do not have the video. I probably at a certain point burned all the photographs.
Were you dancing with Chubby Checker? Were you doing the twist?
Yes, I was one of probably about 10 people. Yes. Again, young, and said yes to everything. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, this is going to be fun.
And how was it interacting with Chubby Checker?
Oh, he was very nice. It was a great experience.
That's
And
wonderful to hear. Yeah. I mean, he had a massive impact on the world. Vivian and Lorelai, I have a weird feeling that you've done like a twist or two. No?
Yeah, of course I did. I had to Google who he was. I didn't know who Chubby Checker was.
yeah.
Amazing. So, Pamela, thank you so much for being here today.
I
There's a
think,
twist.
Sean, don't you
Yes.
want to sing a few lines
Yeah.
from the twist? Let's do this.
I would love you to Lorelai
Oh, no.
Pamela and Vivian. I have
You're
definitely
the
not
singer.
like me. Like there's a
Come
I'm,
on, baby.
There you
Let's
go.
do the
Let's
twist.
do the twist.
Come on, baby.
Come on, baby.
Let's do the twist.
There you go.
Lorelai is bringing it. Lorelai is bringing it. Great job, Lorelai. So, Pamela, again, thank you for being here. Vivian, we got Mark, we got Pamela, we got
fact,
John and John. Yes.
Fun fact. I was, speaking of doing things with stars, was at the Siberia, isn't it Trans-Siberian Orchestra? And I was a backup singer, lip singer, mind you, for Jewel.
Whoa.
Awesome.
Vivian, you have done more eclectic things. Like the only person who's done crazier and a wider variety of things that I know is Lorelai. So the two of you, it's like absolutely extraordinary. And Bella, by the way, is throwing darts at the screen right now, but that's okay. So Vivian, yes, amazing.
You know
Love
what they were obsessed with? You're never going to believe it. But back in that day, they were obsessed with the fact that I didn't shave my legs. By the way, I had like maybe 3 or 4 hairs. I never really grew many hairs, but they were somehow evident through the fucking hosiery. And the hosiery were neutral. So they were having a tit fit, Sean. Sorry.
This is a lot of information. Vivian. It's a lot of information.
It's an unblinded after dark day.
It's an unblinded
Feel
after
it?
dark.
It is. This is what Lorelai brings. This is what Lorelai brings. So Vivian, we got one more judge.
We have David Brenner in from Dallas, Fort Worth.
Good.
Went to Texas Tech University and is a football player. He went on to become a realtor, then a sales rep. I know, at Weathermatic, and is now in the landscaping industry to define strategy and support for their water management initiatives. So welcome, David Brenner.
Thanks for having
David,
me.
how are you? You played at Texas Tech?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, man. And what position?
I was a deep snapper.
Excellent, excellent. And what position?
Snapping the ball. Do what now?
What position did you play in high school?
Yeah, I was a linebacker in high school and just found that craft of snapping and snapping the balls of punters and kickers and walked on at Texas Tech and earned a scholarship from Cliff Kingsbury. That name
Awesome.
sounds familiar. And earned me a little 2 degrees there at Texas Tech. So enjoyed my time there out in Lubbock, West Texas.
Wow, very cool. And where'd you play high school ball?
Yeah, I went to actually a small private school here locally in the DFW area and actually does not exist anymore. So I had about 30 in my graduating class and the school kind of tanked a little bit. And so don't really have a high school alumni per se, but
Wow, sorry to hear that. And
that's all good.
Did you played all your football games on Friday nights, I presume, or no?
Oh yeah, Friday night's correct. Yep.
How do you like the movie Friday Night Lights? Like how accurately or inaccurately do you think it depicts like Texas high school football?
Oh, it's 100% accurate. Obviously I'm from Plano, so Plano Senior High has two different high schools in the city, and so pretty much Friday Night Lights is an anthem down here in Texas, and obviously Odessa, Go Mojo out there from where Friday Night Lights is made of. So I've actually got a couple of good college roommates that went to Odessa Permian, so they preach it, they speak it and they believe it, so it's crazy.
So thank you, David, so much for being here,
Yep.
brother. And what is did we get your fun fact? Was it your long snap?
Yeah. So my fun fact, obviously at Texas Tech, I'm gonna pull that out of the hat. But obviously pretty well known, some alumni there, and honestly when I was playing there, I was good friends with Baker Mayfield. Obviously, if you're living sports, he's carrying the Cleveland Browns in the good ways up there, and then obviously Pat Mahomes, teammate of him and friend as well. So. And also Cliff Kingsbury gave me a scholarship. So kind of some very high profile people in that little Texas Tech years I was there. So it's pretty cool to have some friendships and memories with those guys.
Yeah, Texas Tech, big time football. So awesome to have you here.
In basketball, we're in the national championship a couple of years ago. So
Yes.
basketball school now. So
Amazing. So awesome, brother. I played at Columbia University back in the day. I was captain of the baseball team in 1992, but I also played high school football. And my fun fact would be that when I was in New Jersey, all the games were on Saturday afternoon. except one town had lights. And you get the effect, David, obviously, of playing Friday night under the lights. So our whole career, we thought about like hoping, number one, our senior year, we would play against this our arch rival, Hasbro Kites. And it came down our senior year, that game like had league championship implications. It was like mid-season, and the greatest athletic night of my life was a game I didn't even score a touchdown in, right? Nothing. But did my job, played my part, and we beat like our arch rival under the lights. So the greatest like high school and sports moment, even anything better than Columbia, was under the lights playing high school football with my brothers and friends, you know, so it was amazing.
That's
so
awesome.
love hearing Friday Night
Like,
Lights.
yeah, like your collection behind you too. So very intrigued what you got behind there with all the memorabilia. So,
Well, I'll go one more fun fact, then we'll get rolling. I had the privilege, the honor of talking to Micah Ruzioni last week, the captain of the 1980 Miracle on Ice team. And it was an extraordinary experience. And I thanked him for what I believe to be the greatest sports upset, number one, in the history of organized sports. And number two, I think the most important athletic moment of the 20th century that actually had world-changing impact, right alongside of Jesse Owens winning his gold medal in front of Adolf Hitler. So I think those two moments were the most profoundly important moments in the sports history of the 20th century. So thank you for recognizing that and giving me that access, David.
yeah, man, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
That's
Vivian,
so fun fact, man.
we got a role player.
We
That's
sure
an awesome
do.
fun fact.
Yeah.
You may know Lorelai as the producer of The Real Raw. What you don't know is that she is also the founder and designer of Bella Roche. Let me see. Any designs today? Look at that. That's her own design, worn by top celebrities in Hollywood that have been featured in Fashion Week LA. Lorelai can also add TV celebrity status herself, as she starred in 3 seasons of The Real Housewives of Orange County. Lorelai also leads a high-level mastermind, which include the inner circle of Tony Robbins, thought leaders, and powerful speakers. But her life's mission is to guide others out of childhood trauma like she did. She shares her story on Steven Tyler's media platform, a pending memoir, and her podcast titled Triumph Over Trauma. For her superpower is that she is the connector to the untouchable. Welcome, Lorelai Mariano.
Connector to the Untouchables. How are you doing on this Why Wednesday?
I am amazing. Thank you so much.
And Lorelai has connected Unblinded and me to some of the Untouchables. So Lorelai, I am very grateful. And what is your fun fact, Lorelai?
Are you sure you want to hear it?
I do. Yeah. Come on now. Come on now.
It could be, okay, let me choose which one. We'll do not quite After Dark, Unblinded. All right.
PG-13?
Yeah. I'll switch it up a bit. So when I was living in LA, this scenario was quite some time ago. I had a friend who was a really huge celebrity photographer. So I'm at his house with this really exclusive party. We're talking, there's Leonardo DiCaprio, Sophia Loren, you name it. And so I had a big glass of wine in one of my friend's rooms, actually his office. And what do?
Wait, Lorelai, was it his room or his office?
Oh. Excuse me.
I listen, John, our media, and I listen carefully. So yes,
I
Lorelai.
have a listening.
This man has exceptional level 5 listening. Fine. So his office. So I had this huge glass of red wine. What do? I trip and I spill the entire glass on his very expensive white carpet. So I'm like, oh my God, what do we do? So my friends and I are like running, we're going in the cupboards and so we're looking thank God we found club soda, and we're just dumping club soda and mopping it up and thinking, when is he going to walk in the room and see this disaster? Because he is just pristine. Everything has to be perfect. Well, thank goodness we got every spot out. So club soda is, let's invest in.
This is a commercial for club soda.
Yes. Lorelai is a cross between Lucille Ball from I Love Lucy and Barbara Eden from I Dream of Jeannie. So Lorelai, thank you for sharing your I Dream of Jeannie-ness with us today. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. So Vivian, We're ready to rock this thing. What are we doing here?
Oh my goodness. Well, we have you, who's the top influencer in the world, who appears on national TV. And of course, you're the chief visionary officer of Unblinded. And you, Sean Callaghy, created this experiential platform, The Real Raw, to showcase the magic of the formula that you've been curating for the past 23 years. So contestants are going to aim to step onto the stage, grab the mic, share your authentic self with a hotbed of talent in front of you, and align your purpose with others, so that you can form ecosystems. And just like that, you'll make more money in less time with more magic. And Sean will help you see micro distinctions and how influence is a superpower. That's it, Sean.
Vivian, who would not want Vivian Guzman with them, like everywhere they go, like trumpeting her into the room? So
Hype
Vivian,
team.
yes.
Hype team over here.
Amen. Extraordinary. That's what we do. That's like how it works. That's what's happening. But when you can back
Sean,
it, yes. Yes,
to
please.
quote how Harry met Sally, I'll
Yes,
have
sir.
what she's having.
I
Love
agree.
it.
Right. So, but here's the best part about it is we can back it up because we do have a $250,000 bet out in the world that we cannot be out influenced on a neutral set of facts. And some of the people teaching influence and sales training in the world, somehow there's been crickets in response to that bet, which of course is for charity. I'm on the board of the American Foundation for the Blind. I am blind, and I was one of only two attorneys, as we described. The two top 100 national jury verdicts between 2014 and 2016, but the only one who was blind. And this is the 100th anniversary year for the American Foundation for the Blind. That's for 70 years. There's been a 70% unemployment rate for the blind, which we're disrupting in the world. So that's what we're standing for here, in addition to Integrous Influence. So Vivian, mwah, you're extraordinary. We're ready to rock this thing. Did we lose Vivian? Or I?
Yeah, she's
She
popped off.
pieced it out. Okay. So, and final is my fun fact is I am blind, as I shared. I've taught blind people to surf as a blind person. I surf a ski double black diamonds because blind people are intensely and immensely capable, and they are not the caricatures that we often think of. Yes. So Lorelei, are you ready to rock?
Ready.
All right.
To rock
So
and roll.
yes. Who's going first? Left coast, right coast? Say left or right, quick.
Okay, left.
All right, so John, the amazing disruptor of litigation, the saver of defendants' money, the restorer of sensible resolutions. John, are you ready, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So Lorelei will be anybody that you want her to be. She could be like herself. She could be an ideal avatar. She could be, heck, a judge, an attorney, one of their clients, anybody, John, that you want her to be. The outcome is going from hello to yes, and not in a way that's like Boiler Room meets a Wolf of Wall Street, because that stuff doesn't work on people that are at any degree enlightened or self-empowered. What works integrously is when we can help people see what they don't see about why saying yes makes sense. So John, who would you like Lorelei to be?
I'd like Lorelei to work in a law office, and I'd like her to put together a list of mediators for a particular litigation.
Extraordinary. Okay, so Lorelei, you work in a law firm. Maybe it's Callaghy Law. You're putting together a list of potential mediators. And John, you're gonna have 6 minutes. You'll be interrupted 3 minutes in between, but don't worry, because Lorelei will bounce right back for the second 3 minutes. There's no need to get to yes in these first 3 minutes. All the judges are assessing is how you open up listening and connect with Lorelei. So Lorelei, are you ready?
Yes, ready.
John, sir, please take us in.
Hi, Lorelei. How are you today?
Hi, John. I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, even though we're dealing with these turbulent times. Nonetheless, we're adapting and changing and making it happen. I understand you have a case that you'd like to get a mediation or a mediator for, and I'd like to
Yes.
be on your list of recommended mediators. How do I get onto your list?
Well, I think I would need to know a little bit more about you, your background, and the cases that you have tried and whatnot.
Well, I run an organization. It's a panel of mediators called Trusted Mediators International. So in terms of size and scale, with regard to like JAMS, for example, which is one of your largest firms that offers mediation services, I'm very small. But by comparison, I can get to better results faster and for way less money than somebody like JAMS, for example, because, well, we have a bias that we put right on the table. And that is, we have a bias for settling cases. And so people who come to us generally want to get their cases settled because, that's our bias. And so now while lawyers, they have a real meter for bias, and that's what they're looking for. And that's important if you're talking about an arbitration, because if you have somebody who's going to decide against you, for example, you kind of want to have a feeling for that. Same thing with litigation. Bias is a real big deal in those two ways of resolving conflict. But in mediation, bias in terms of the mediator is not important whatsoever because the mediator doesn't decide. It's the parties that decide. And so we put it in the parties' hands and we make sure that they have it in their hands. And that's the difference between me, for example, and JAMS. Whereas JAMS wants to do what's called a caucus practice. That's where they put the parties in separate rooms and they don't bring them together. Well, that's not how you get cases necessarily. You can do it that way, but it's not the fastest way. It's not the most efficient way. And most mediators would say that's not the traditional way that it was intended to be done.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really the difference.
Right. Well, one thing that I like to do in any form of business too, is I really like to know who I'm dealing with and the person. So what made you get into this business and what lights you up in terms of your clients?
Hey, Lorelai, you got to take a quick call. Maybe we could pick right there up with John in a couple minutes.
Yeah, John, I'm sorry, I have a call I have to get. I'll get right back to you in a few minutes.
Awesome.
Sure, absolutely.
So John, we'll pick it up right there. How'd that feel for you, John? Round one.
Oh, wonderful. It was very, very, I loved it.
Yeah, I like your very direct approach and the micro distinctions, and we'll talk more about it. Excellent. John Angelo, are you ready to rock and roll?
I certainly am, sir.
Yeah, and who would you like Lorelai to be?
Financial advisor.
Nice, love it. Ooh, I like these today. Excellent.
Perfect.
So yeah, Lorelai, you are a financial advisor. Perhaps you could be like Lorelai, the genius of wealth, modeling the ambassador results, Rob Gill, Lorelai. So here we go.
Got it.
You can sing.
Hi, Lorelai. How are you today?
Hi, John. I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Oh, great. You sign for me, please, and take the dog, please. I'm in the middle of a meeting. I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, no.
That was somebody knocking on my door.
No, I love animals. I hear your dog in the background.
Not this one. This is the Tasmanian devil. It's a little chihuahua about this big, and she's mean.
That's your guard dog.
Not a nice bone in her body. Anyway, so Lorelai, how did you hear about me?
I heard about you through a mutual friend of mine.
And who's that friend?
You wouldn't know her. She's her name is Stephanie.
Stephanie,
She's
all right.
chief legal counsel at
Got it.
LPL, actually.
Got it. So did Stephanie by any chance do a transaction with me, or how, did she say anything about our transaction together?
No, not at all. No,
Okay.
it was through sort of friend of a friend.
So, sure.
Mhm.
So Lorelai, what's your ideal mortgage banker? What do you look for in your mortgage banker?
I look for someone that has tremendous experience and who has just has a good rating, a good return, so that they've done their homework. And what do you offer? I'm trying to.
Well, I mean,
the
reason what makes me different than other mortgage bankers is basically mortgage bankers, what they try to do is they build rapport with their client. They mention rate all the time. And I more or less focus on the relationship, on trying to develop the relationship with that individual or with the couple,
Mhm.
or with whoever I may be dealing with, so I try to make you look good also through your couple or through the people that you refer to me. So what I do is, one of the things I do for financial advisors is I make sure that when they give me a referral,
Mhm.
I'm always also at the same time letting that customer know, yeah, I love working with Lorelai. She does a great job financial advising. She's one of the better ones. So they have a comfortable feeling right off the bat that, that you put us together because you felt it would be a good match. What I also do, which I find very, very unique, is that when I'm doing a cash out refinance, I look for that client to take the difference in the cash that they're savings and reinvest it back with their financial advisor. So that helps you as well, which then says to you, you know what, I got a client that's looking to do a cash out refinance. I'll refer them to John. You can think in the back of your
Yeah.
mind, John would be the one for that
Okay.
because
Yeah.
I'm able to do that.
Yeah. Hey,
Sorry
Laurel,
to interrupt you. Yeah, I have a call I need to run, but I will call you right back.
Sure, no problem. Thank you.
hey, very nice work, John. How'd that feel for you?
It felt pretty good. She was a little short in words, just like the person I had yesterday. And I think it was on purpose because I was trying to get her to tell me more about her experience of how she was referred to me, but she didn't really say too much. I had to really get it out of her.
Yeah, got some thoughts on that as well. Excellent work, my friend. Laurel, if you had word for John, our friend in the mortgage space, what would that like one word be for that encounter?
It would be, let's see.
First word.
First word, it would be a little complex.
And how about for John, our mediator, legal friend?
I think I would feel that it was warm.
Okay, let's go to the judges. So let's start, judges, 30 seconds of feedback, please. About 50 for each of the contestants, 15 seconds on like what worked, 15 seconds of what might be optimized, kind of in bulleted form, and a score of 1 to 10, 10 being most optimal, like Lorelai was gonna be chasing him out of the room. Pamela, let's begin with John, our mediator. What'd you have?
Okay, which John are we starting with?
Yeah,
John,
John, the mediator, the attorney mediator.
Okay. So I think that some of the real positives for me with John, you were kind, you were gentle, you were really informative. So I felt an immediate level of comfort when I was speaking, when you were speaking, that I felt like, and there was a connection. So your real personality came through, really dominated that discussion. I think that one thing that I would recommend is just to ask a few more questions.
And your score is?
My score would be an 8.5. I thought it was great.
Excellent. And how about for the other John?
So I think that I love the humor. I love that you did ask questions. You asked a lot of questions, even though she wasn't giving you a whole lot of information. I do have to say the humor kind of broke the ice, the funny little thing about the dog. But I think that my recommendation would be to emphasize that you're relationship based and to get that level of comfort and to let more of your real personality shine through there and to have a little bit more of a connection with Lorelai.
Excellent.
So I thought it was great. I think you did a great job and I would give you an 8.
Nice. Excellent. David, sir, what did you have for John, the mediator?
Yeah, from John, mediator, I would say very transparent, very warm, very open, very friendly, communicative, really just giving him the full perspective on what he does and does for clients and how he wins in that regards, in that perspective. I wouldn't really change anything about John, honestly, the mediator, John, that is, I kind of do that on my own. So just being more transparent and blunt and really showing your true personality and what your company is. So I gave John a 9 as my rating.
Nice. And how about for John, the mortgage master?
Yeah, the mortgage master, very, it's tough when an issue like that happens with the dog. So it's very objective, overcoming. Very impressive. I know it's probably the most difficulty thing when it comes to mind. I would also say just be more open, be more communicative, and warm to having Lorelai, ask more questions, get more in depth on what you do. And it's kind of more of like a treasure hunt, kind of walking through that conversation with you. And I gave John a 7.5.
Nice. John, the mortgage master, my friend. When you have dogs barking in the background, I'm a big fan of giving you extra points, like a gymnast having an extra degree of difficulty. So it's extraordinary you deal with that degree of difficulty. I thought you did a fantastic job with it. So amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Mark, what do you have for John, the master mediator?
Thank you, Sean. Again, I think in terms of making the sale, I think John was terrific. I think when I look, and I know you talk about emotional rapport, I just see it fell short a little bit on the emotional rapport side. But in terms of the points of selling. I thought it was very convincing. So it was very
Excellent.
good. Like
Excellent.
a 9, I would say.
Thank you.
Nice, Mark. And what'd you have for John, the master mortgage man?
Very similar. Knows
25
knows
seconds.
the business. Came across like an expert. Again, I like the way he sold. Very sincere. Like like a connection was made. So, and very similar. Again, I was maybe looking for a little bit more rapport, emotional rapport. But other than that, it was terrific. I would maybe give him a 9, something like that.
Excellent. Great work. Thank you to Mark, David, and Pamela. John and John, awesome job. Lorelai's back, ready for round 2. So, John, mortgage master, are you ready to go?
So
Dawn
we're
is
just,
frozen.
are we picking up from where we left off, or is this a new one?
Nope. Lorelai's like bouncing back. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry,"
Oh.
and she's
Got it.
bouncing.
She's back on the call now, and she's calling me back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yep.
Great,
Sean,
great.
Yes.
Hey,
I'm
Lorelai.
sorry.
Oh,
Oh,
hold on. Sorry.
Hi.
Sure.
Wait, quick time. I'm sorry, guys. What
Sean,
more? Yes.
I'm so sorry. I have a little bit of an emergency.
Oh my God, Mark, please, of course. I'm so sorry.
I apologize. I just came across my phone.
Yeah, please take care of it. We love you, Mark. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Take care.
Yeah. Hope and pray all is well for Mark.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
really.
John. So Lorelai's back, and let's please take it in.
Hey, Lorelai, how's that phone call? All done?
It was good. Thank you for being so patient. I appreciate it.
No problem at all. My pleasure. My pleasure. So, tell me what you're looking for you mentioned what you were looking for in your mortgage person, and I thought that was great. But do you have anyone in particular that you're looking for me to possibly help in the near future? Or you have anybody in mind, or are you just looking in this aspect at this point to just try to hone in on developing who you want as far as your relationships with mortgage people?
Yes, right now I'm just researching and finding individuals, getting to know them and doing it that way. So I'd like to know more about you, what you provide, and a little bit more in depth as to
Sure.
what you provide.
Sure.
Mhm.
Well, I've been in the industry for 25 years, actually 26 years now. Prior to that, I was in hospital finance for 10. I've learned over time that, every customer is different. You have to change your tone and you change your approach to every customer, but some things never change. And what doesn't change is your integrity, your ability to tell the truth, your knowledge that you have of the industry. Those things don't change. And that doesn't change with me. I have a straight knowledge of the industry. I treat everyone equally, and I look to help each individual person based on their situation. I really enjoy a first-time home buyer, because a first-time home buyer is a little bit green when it comes to understanding what the whole process is about. And I like to take them on a step-by-step basis of starting with the pre-approvals, then moving into the approval, moving into the commitment, moving into ordering title, and then of course the closing. And I like to set that up for them in such a way where they feel very comfortable of the whole process. And as the process goes along, I let them know each individual time of what's going to happen next, so that they're not surprised by anything. That's why I enjoy the first-time home buyer very, very much. For us to work together, cash out refinances are great, because I like to get them back to you in the form of the savings that they receive to reinvest back for you.
Well, thank you so much for that information. And I wanted to actually ask you, this is very important. What does integrity mean to you?
Telling the truth, being completely honest with the individual, knowing that what you say counts. And I always feel this more than anything. Good news is easy to deliver. Bad news is not easy to deliver. You must be able to deliver the bad news along with the good news, or you're just another mortgage person. To be a good mortgage person, you have to be able to deliver the bad news as well as the good news.
Laurel, I got a phone call in 10 seconds.
Yeah, I have to run. I'm sorry, but thank you so much.
No problem. I'll have my assistant give you a contact, and we'll try to get together for some coffee. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Hey, John, excellent job. Excellent job. How'd that feel for you?
I felt a little bit better the second time than the first time, to be honest with you.
Yeah, really like how you handled the integrity.
Yeah, I
question.
felt she was warmer the second time.
Yeah, a beautiful job on that question. Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah, John, sir, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Lorelei is back. Please.
Hey, John, thank you so much for waiting. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And let's just step into where we left off. What can you, more information, like to step into what we were talking about when we ended the call?
Absolutely. In terms of what we offer,
Mhm.
we offer you mediation services faster. So in other words, we can get to your case pretty close to whenever you need to have it addressed. So we're faster in getting it done. We're also faster in doing it because we don't schedule all day mediations. We schedule half days because what we're trying to do is get the parties on track for settlement. And, we'll do that to the best of our ability in a shorter period of time where we can focus on the conversations and the transactional nature of it. So we're faster. We are going to get better results because of our biased nature in terms of that's what we're looking for. So we're faster, better results, and we're going to be probably half price from what the big guys charge. So we're cheaper as well. So there's really no reason why you shouldn't put us on your list for mediation services without a doubt.
Mhm. I'd like to ask, so how do you get those quick and speedy results without impacting the value and not missing any, pieces to that?
Well, I require a brief from each party. So basically the brief will explain to me what the situation and the problem is. And then that'll take us to our jumping point, or what are the interests of the parties? Do they really want to fight this thing out and spend a fortune when we can get to the results right away, right now, kind of like guaranteed results where everybody knows they can live with a particular result versus the uncertainty and the risk of going forward, and not to mention the time and the cost. So we can eliminate all of that if we're able to reach a mutually agreeable settlement today, for example.
Mhm. And could you give me kind of your track record? I'd like to know more about those optics, please.
I have excellent success rate with our litigation. As I said, people come to us when they want to settle their lawsuits. I'm not 100%. That's for sure. Cases don't always settle. Not every case should settle. Some cases require greater discovery. Some cases require a judgment, especially when one party isn't ready to settle. So I understand that. But we have an excellent track record. A case that I'm most proud of recently was a 5-party dispute involving the IRS and 2 banks and a sold out owner. And the issue was, how do we distribute the proceeds of a foreclosure? And so, it's complicated when you have a lot of negative emotion involved. So the idea is to remove the negative emotion, and then we can get to a reasonable decision faster.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you giving me those optics. Thank you.
With pleasure.
So Lorelei, you got to grab a quick call in about 10 seconds.
Yeah, my apologies. I need to run to get this call, so I will speak to you in a little bit.
I look forward to it.
Thank you.
Excellent job, John. How did that feel for you?
I felt pretty good. I enjoy pitching my services. I'll tell you what.
Excellent work. Hey, Lorelei, so what'd you have for John, our mediation master, for one word from that round?
I thought it was very, I thought he gave a lot of great information. So yeah, good information. That's
Okay.
2 words.
And how about for John, our mortgage master?
I would say very, it was more warm. That's what I was looking for because I want to feel that emotional rapport. So that helped in the end.
Well, thank you, Lorelei. So John, master mediator, could I drop in for a second and perhaps step into your esteemed shoes? And perhaps you could be somebody who is creating lists inside of a law firm of mediators, and we can have a little bit of fun for a sec. How does that sound?
Sure.
Okay, awesome. Okay. And how about, so I'm John, and how about you be Joe? Sound good?
Sure.
Okay. So, hey, Joe, thanks so much for taking the phone call. I really appreciate it. I know you only have about 3 minutes to go. So how are you doing? I know it's been COVID, things are crazy, courts are closed. What's life like at XYZ law firm for you guys, Joe?
We're looking for a lot of mediators on short notice.
Wow. Yeah. Hey, this show, like, how about you? What's your background and how did you end up in this wonderful position of putting mediators on lists?
Well, that's what the law firm is involved in litigation, but since the courts are closed, more cases are being mediated right now. And it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because mediation really, cuts to the quick, and let's see if we can get to a resolution faster. So it's better for the parties, not necessarily better for the law firm though, in terms of attorney's fees.
Right.
That's
And so,
true.
yeah. And what's your guys' vision, Joe? Like your vision, the firm's vision about clients, things, I really like to understand, what sort of the heart and vision of a firm is.
Well, our philosophy is get clients, file lawsuits, win cases.
Got it. Okay. All right. So I am very clear. Amazing, Joe. So with that, I'm hearing like precision, aggression, urgency, like resolution. Am I hearing you right, Joe?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. So can I share a little bit about me?
Please.
Yeah. So the work that I do is to resolve cases. And a lot of folks say that. The work that I'm probably not your guy. If you guys are looking to create, in a unique case that you're taking with your clients a position, and I hold, no challenge with this, but where you're looking to hold out and like litigate, I'm a person that resolves cases. When you though, Joe, have cases that you want to resolve and you want to resolve them efficiently, fairly, I get the job done. So I've been doing this a long time and I developed the science around it with 4 steps. The first thing I do is I create emotional rapport where I open the listening of people. And Oprah Winfrey said she held the microphone for 30,000 people because she said, I see you, I hear you, and what you say matters. Now, everybody could say those words. It's a question if you can create that feeling authentically and integriously with the parties. And I do that. Then second, we put something meaningfully at stake. And again, it's not just words. It's like a question of, do the parties, the lawyers feel it? Like what's at stake if they don't settle? $3 million cases turn into $27 million cases may very well be at stake, or $3 million cases turn into 0 if the plaintiff is unreasonable. So we put something very presently at stake and I step into it. I don't just kind of like leave it out there. And then my identity is that I bring forward is this analytical ability to be precise, on point. I'm not looking to make everybody my friend. I am looking to gain trust and certainty in the room. Like there's a King Solomon-ness that I'm bringing to the parties when I step in, that there's like, this guy is no nonsense. He's straight up and he's empathetic. So that's my identity in the room. And that's what I bring to the party. So finally, I'd ask, how do those things resonate or not for you? Because I want to make sure there's like a resonance between us before I even be put on your list. But how does that work for you, Joe?
You sound like me.
Awesome. So Joe, I appreciate it. And my singular request would be to go on the list, but I'd also love to be there for any time the firm in any way, shape, or form has a question about mediation. And of course, they're going to maintain ethics and confidentiality and impartiality, but we're here to support in getting things structured appropriately. So thanks very much, Joe. I'll send you over some information.
Oh, that sounds more polished than mine. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. So step out of role. So John, how did that feel for you?
John, yeah, for me, it felt great.
Okay.
I appreciate your presentation. It's very good.
Oh, awesome. So listen, I love what you're doing and I feel your energy. I feel your heart. So, thanks for letting me step in and do that.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right. So let's first go to Pamela. So Pamela, what do you have let's go with actually John, the mediator. Let's start there.
So again, I just think that your mannerism, your tone just creates this feeling of honesty and trust. So you immediately feel connected in that way. But I would love to have a more personal connection. So if you ask Lorelei more personal questions about her and had that direct contact, so that when you call, you can say, hey, remember me, and, have some kind of common bond that you connected over, but also that your wins, more of your wins. You have some really great things that you've done, but to kind of tout that a little bit more.
And your score is?
My score is a 9.
Nice. Excellent, Pamela. And how about for John, the master of mortgages?
John, the master of mortgages. Similar to what Lorelai said, I love your tone. Was you can see your true colors come through, and it was a much more gentle tone that you could connect with. And then you're really good about asking the questions and getting a little bit more from that person. And then I loved how you did your presentation about giving some additional information on your services. And then I would just at the end really do something that you have an exact date or time where you're going to follow up with Lorelai to get her that information so that you know what's expected. But I think you did a great job.
And your score, please?
I would give him a 9.
Yeah, excellent. Pamela, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. And how was your day at the Real Raw?
I think it was wonderful. Had a great time. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, thank you very, very much. David, how about John, the mediator? What do you got?
Yeah, no, John, you did well there. Again, just very transparent and giving you your services. I would say kind of what Pamela mentioned, kind of hit the nail on the coffin was, just build a rapport of emotional attachment to have her or have Lorelai kind of get more engaged with you and feel that relationship. So I feel like you guys do have a strong bond, but it's like what's going to do to close that deal and sign those papers to be a client for yours. And so I'll give John the mediator a 9 as well.
Thank you.
Awesome. And for John, the mortgage master.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, John, you definitely improved on that one. It felt like it was more straightforward and you really felt more comfortable, more warm and felt like yourself. I don't know if the dog threw you off a little bit at the first call, but definitely you got in your groove and giving you the pitch more. I do feel like you could ask a little bit more questions, get more personal with Lorelai. I felt like you kind of talked a little bit more than you probably should have to answer some more questions and get more feel of what she's looking for. But at the end of the day, you did improved, and I would give you an 8.5.
Nice. Excellent work. Appreciate it, David. If somebody said to you, like David, hey, should I go on that Real Raw thing or not? What would you share with them?
Absolutely. I mean, I would, it's definitely an outside the box approach and it made me get a little bit out of my comfort zone. But, for me, I'm always looking to self-scout myself and learning to see how both Johns did in approaching their pitch. And obviously you, Sean, doing your thing and just learning a little bit. Definitely recommend it to anybody else out there looking to improve their craft and in their careers.
No. Well, thank you, David, for being here. And we'll go quickly, just a quick overview. I know you may have missed most of it. My co-founder, jumping in for Mark Ampaglia, Adam Gagino, the man that took his company from $3.5 million to $750 million in under 4 years. AG, a little thing or two about influence. So what feedback could you provide to us? I don't know when you jumped in exactly, but what do you got?
Yeah, wow. Head to head, John versus John. I hopped in and
left coast, right coast, East Coast, West Coast. Yes, John and John.
John. So I heard John Angelo, who, right off the bat, I connected, authentic. You could hear, I felt trust. He was very direct when talking about not only being able to deliver the good news, but also to be able to deliver sometimes the bad news. And that for me resonated right away, that he was going to speak into what the concern, what the pain may have been, or the fear may have been for that person. So John, the little bit I heard, I thought it was really good. I'd give him a 9.0.
Nice. And how about for John, the mediation master?
John, the mediation master. I mean, I heard you, Sean, pretty much exemplify who I heard in John as well. His certainty was there. We call it Zeus energy, the decision. He was looking to have Lorelai, come up with a yes. There was no reason not to, right? I mean, he was very certain. Overall, I think he even used that language. I would have liked to hear some fun energy provided to connect a little bit. I know maybe she was asking the questions, maybe if he drove some of those questions. And I also heard from Pamela that he has a pretty extensive background and I'm sure there was some that he could have added there for his heroic, unique identity as well. But overall, solid job, 8.3 for the mediator.
All right. Excellent job, AG. Let's go, John, the mortgage master. Thank you so much for being here. How was your day today on the Real Raw?
I was great. Yesterday I went on the initial 3-minute one, and I did pretty well with it, and it was very educational in that, it makes you think like, wow, you have a very short period of time to really get the point across of what you want to try to get across, and you have to fine tune it constantly and rehearse it. And it's like a more extensive 30-second commercial with BNI. So that's what I learned on that yesterday. Today, I learned that the whole interaction is a system in itself. Sean, you had mentioned a number of things, and that really resonated with me about precise, point on, accurate, professional. You were naming things of what you were that I'm trying to do as well, but I didn't actually say the words. And maybe that's what I need to do now when the next time I do this, is to say those words about being on point, precise, accurate, integrity, those things, and really go into that to build almost like a bio of myself, a visual bio for that person.
Yeah. So thank you, John. Brilliant distinctions. There's a science to this, and that's what we do here. And there's 18 levers of integrity-based human influence in 3 different components. So it's 7% of the words, 7% of what meaning is transmitted from us to another person are the words we utter. 38% of the vocal qualities, 55% is the body language. And there's a mechanism of how to open listening, how to keep listening open, how to understand that people do more to avoid pain than gain pleasure, how that factors in, how to convey who and what we are, and into an agreement. When sales is so often perceived to be, as I thought it was a long time ago, manipulative. But in fact, sales can be manipulative and harmful, or it could be the revelation of truth. And so when it stands in like the space of revelation of truth, there's a completely different energetic vibration that gets created. It's a whole longer story, but yes, thank you, for the share. And if I'm leaving anything with you, it would be to just step into your heart and your being, like the entire time. So there's energetic transference happening from you to another person. It's most rudimentary level. But John, you did a fantastic job. We do this every day, 450 of these, in the books, and you guys are really outstanding today. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. John, the master mediator, how was your day today?
Well, first, let me thank Adam for his comments and everyone for their comments. I enjoyed the experience a great deal. Thinking, and David, what he said in terms about sharpening your skills for success in the profession, I think is a great mission and goal to have. And certainly I'm trying to do that as well. In terms of expanding my business against the competition, which is fierce and certainly huge. So my task is daunting, but we provide excellent services. So hopefully they will speak for themselves. Although I see that they don't, I've got to get out there and speak for them, right? So I appreciate that opportunity. And I think this is a wonderful experience for anybody who wants to do that kind of thing.
Oh, thank you, John. Thank you, man. Lorelei, what final you got?
Final is thank you guys for all coming. It was really wonderful. And you all brought so much great feedback and wisdom, and it was a pleasure.
Well, thank you for that, Lorelei. And everybody, if this is the end of our journey together, remember, integrous influence is a superpower, and knowing what to do with it creates exponentially different results. We at Unblinded don't only stand for the process of how to do that, but how to leverage it in all aspects of your marketing, your selling, your leadership, which includes your scaling and recruiting of your business. That's what it's all about. We thank you for being here today, and hopefully it is just the beginning of the journey. We'll be reaching out and seeing how you felt about the experience, and in any way, shape, or form, we can co-create from there. But remember, Lorelei, we are all blind
And just learning to see.